Hey there, welcome to episode 2 of Booze and Brews.
Nice to see everybody again.
Yeah, nice to see you guys. We can't see anything but ourselves, which is awkwardly weird.
Which is why it's nice to see us again.
But yeah, if you didn't catch our first episode, go check it out. We're trying to do this every 2 weeks and bring you some new content and fun stuff. So I just started 2 weeks ago. And, you know, so like I said, here we are for episode 2. We wanted to thank all you guys for the love from the first video that we did. It was really awesome and welcomed and surprising.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, right?
Thank
like,
you.
Thank
Yes.
you. This has been like kind of a nerve-wracking venture for us because, yeah, we're not really out there kind of people. No, not really. I mean,
Quiet.
We're good with each other, but you know, other people, you know, not so much maybe. But anyway, so you know, the internet brings its whole host of things to be cautious about, I guess. So we you know, we're kind of shy sometimes, so we appreciate all the love and feedback, and that was great. So thank you so much. It gave us positive motivation to keep moving forward, which is what we're trying to bring to you guys. So yeah, it was really good to have karma returned. We have special guests today. In case you've been watching our Instagram, our reels, and our Facebook, this is our special guest. This is Flat Stanley. So he's making a special appearance today on the podcast. It's his first ever podcast. I mean, it's only our second, so he's already ahead of the game. So yeah. So anyway, we wanted to introduce Flat Stanley, and it's kind of a silly, fun story, but Flat Stanley this is a school project for my son. He is 8 and he's in the 2nd grade, and they had to color and create their own Flat Stanley. So this is his. I'm not going to take credit for this beautiful artwork. This is his right here, and he has to travel to work with me for a few days. So, and then we have to do take pictures and tell everyone in his class what Flat Stanley did at, you know, parent day at work. So it's pretty fun. Yeah, so he gets to have spa day. Flat Stanley learns self-care.
Yeah, I'm jealous of the Flat Stanley.
Flat Stanley's doing better than us. And, you know, back to our brews, which is our coffee. We're trying to change it up with some fun mugs today.
Yes, I have my Black Lab favorite mug. Back, you can read perhaps some about the Black Lab.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
not just my shirt.
I just have my sock monkey.
I'm all about the pause today.
I see that. Absolutely. So we were trying to decide on a topic for today, and we, I guess in conjunction with what I was saying earlier, we tend to be kind of shy in talking about ourselves, but people are always like, oh, tell us about yourself and how you got into this. And I'm like, you really want to know, like, about us? Ugh. But here we go. We're going to try really hard. We're going to take a deep dive into ourselves. So I guess I'll just start with like a little intro before we get into the Q&A section. What do you think?
That sounds good. Yeah, I think so. Just give a little blurb about
who we are,
who you are, and then I'll do who I am.
All right.
And then, you know,
maybe we should have written it for each other. See that? Anyway, well, I'll start with that. I am originally from New Jersey.
I'm also originally from New Jersey.
Yeah, how about that? But not the same town. We did not grow up at the same area. I'm from South Jersey, which is the better part of New Jersey.
I'm from Central Jersey, and yes, there is a difference.
Absolutely. It's different, whole different state. Like, I don't know. Like, oh, Central. Okay. Anyway, so I grew up in South Jersey, and I went to college in Philadelphia, which is where we met at college. And we met in a environmental science class, and mostly we met, be brutally honest, hopefully she's not a follower. I mean, she probably don't know us anymore, but, you know, sorry if you are, we'll leave her name out. But anyway, there was a very
I was thinking that
irritating student who sat between us in science class, and you know, we didn't know each other for anything, but she would make these comments, and we would kind of side eye each other, and I'm like, this girl, I think she gets me, because this one in the middle, I'm not sure what's happening there. Anyway, so we bonded over our dislike of someone else. It's kind of scary. Sorry. God, should we be admitting that? Anyway,
it's never happened again.
Yeah, never. In any case, so it kind of kicked off a fun little friendship, and then we'd start hanging out, and the following year we elected to be roommates with 3 other people. So there's many of us in that house, which was also fun and good. And I like all of you. We were roommates because you might be followers. No, I do really like all of you. We maintained a lot of those friendships. So in any case, my major was business. I enrolled in college with a human resource major with in a 5-year accelerated MBA program. So I went in with the intention of doing 5 years, and that's what I did. I graduated 5 years later with a joint degree. And what happened after that? And then I decided I wasn't going to use my degree at all, and I was recruited. I had joined a co-ed business fraternity in college, and I was recruited very soon, close to my graduation, to move to Ohio. So I moved out towards the Cincinnati area, which I would probably still be living in if I had my choice. But, the universe has other plans. So
It's ridiculous.
yeah, so I'm not there anymore. But in any case, I moved out to Oxford, Ohio, near Cincinnati, and I lived there for a couple years. Eventually to move back to Delaware. When I was deciding where to live, I was then applying. I wanted to do another master's degree, and the programs that I was applying for wouldn't accept me into the master's program because I already had a master's degree. So they pushed me into doctoral programs. So I went back to the University of Delaware and got my doctorate in education because that was what I was going to do since I wasn't doing the business thing. And I didn't do that either.
You did.
Okay, I did.
She did.
I did that. I did that for quite a long time.
Very well.
Yes, and so I worked for large universities. I was a director of student advising, and I really did like my job a lot. So I work with students and advising them on their career paths. Much to my surprise to find out that a lot of that was intuition based. Shocker, fun. How about that little parallel thread that has happened through my life? So anyway, I did that for quite a long time. And then I kind of had like a little bit of a early midlife crisis, decided to change it all up again, and went back to school again for this time another master's degree. I did it online, and master's of exercise science. And I was doing that for a long time, and I'm not doing that now either. So anyway, there's a lot of education there that now I'm in something completely different, and it's fine. This is life, right? This is how life goes. But the people joked about it in our first podcast that we are married, but not to each other. No, I've been married 10 years this past October, and I have an 8-year-old son. All right, that's enough info for me. I talked for like 3 whole minutes, so you go for it.
Oh my goodness.
It was a lot.
All right, let's see. I'm obviously from New Jersey as well, Central New Jersey. I am now, of course, living in Delaware, but we've been here since 2001. My then fiance was also from New Jersey, and we decided to get an apartment in Delaware, and we got married in 2002. So after we were married, we moved down to Delaware full time. So we've been in Delaware now since basically as long as we've been married, which has been a long time. So it's been... we're going on to 23 years of being married. But we started dating before I even met her. So we started dating in 1994. So, been in Delaware now for all these years. I did my undergrad in psychology, same school where I met Cheryl, of course. And then I moved on to do my master's degree in psychological counseling in New Jersey before moved down to Delaware. And let's see, after that,
she actually used her degree for most of her professional career. Yeah,
for a little bit. I mean,
I did. I tease. I mean, I did use mine, but I tease. Yes.
And then so I worked in mental health for a while, and then I decided.
And then when it drives you crazy, you leave and do something else.
I got my personal training certification, and meanwhile also own a landscaping company. So I just want to mix it up and do everything all the time. So after the personal training, I started becoming more interested in really kind of what we're doing now, and started getting certifications and things and such. So I only have the 2 degrees. I mean, want to be a show off or anything. So
over the top. Like, I do things and I just do them all the way.
I was very excited when Cheryl decided to move back to this area from Ohio, because that was quite a trip every so often, going out there and seeing her there. But
she made me do it. She made me move back here.
No, she just knew where she was meant to be.
It was where I was meant to be, and it really had better property taxes.
better a lot of things, probably.
Yeah,
but
not now, but maybe.
Well, I would say so.
It's a nice state. It's fine.
It's good. So, let's see, anything else? I don't know.
We both have a lot of dogs. We're dog people. We do
huge dog people. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's decked out today.
I mean,
so we're huge dog people.
My earrings are dogs too. If you could see them today.
Lynn has 2 dogs, and I have 4. The most I've ever had at one time is 5. I'm a multiple dog home. I think I will be for probably quite some time. I just love them. They're my people. Definitely.
It's okay to say.
So, so we ended up here. I ended up in fitness because it was my thing. And that's a journey that, like, I get intimidated to talk about, because I'll be really honest, and I wasn't planning on talking about this today, but I will. I worked really hard to get to where I was in that industry. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and some other autoimmune conditions. But at the time, I was mostly tackling the polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I was stuck. It started for me in like my early 20s, and I was a very, very active athlete in high school. And but the reality was I had always kind of struggled with my weight since I was a kid. But I had gotten to a point in my teens where it was nice. Like, I was where I was supposed to be. I was very active. I ran a lot. I was a softball player, soccer player, and sports was kind of my thing. And then through college, continued to maintain that. But sometime in my early 20s, my body kind of went like berserk and haywire, and I had gained all this weight, and I had no idea what was going on with me. And I went to see all these doctors, and PCOS was not really well heard of at that point. And it took a long time for me to get a diagnosis. But and I was really struggling with my health and my body image, and I was like yo-yoing up and down. And I finally I had lost 120 pounds before I decided that I was really passionate about fitness, and I had turned my life all upside down. And it was great. Like, I was ran a marathon and had done a bunch of really cool stuff, obstacle course events and stuff like that. And it was very much a passion of mine. But I think I burnt my body out in my overzealousness. And but anyway, when I decided to become a personal trainer, and I pivoted my career, like that little midlife crisis. I mean, I say midlife crisis, but I was in my 30s. And I decided I didn't want that corporate job anymore, and I wanted to do something else with my life. And it was a huge, huge risk and undertaking that I did, but I went for it, and it took off for me. I got that master's degree, and I started personal training full time, and gave myself a year to build that business. And I ended up opening what we would call like a box kind of gym, like CrossFit-ish, but not trademarked like that. And I was doing that for a couple years, and it came to the point where we knew that business was gonna dissolve, and it was like, well, what's the next thing? And surprisingly, I don't know. Anyway, the cycle of how it goes for me, I also became I say sick. I don't know if sick's really the right word, but I started struggling again, even being super active and having this as my career with my health and the weight started to return. And I was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr. And so it's like a chronic fatigue kind of condition. And anyway, it led me down the path of trying to figure out other ways to manage my health, because it was repeatedly, I felt really shut down by the medical profession, in that I wasn't getting really the answers that it wasn't just the answers that I didn't want. It was just, there weren't any answers. Like, I didn't know how to manage it. I didn't know what was going on. My personal struggle, led into like fertility issues, and I was, we ended up adopting my son because of PCOS and that kind of thing. So it just led to a whole host of other things, but it led me right to where I am here at Aspire and trying to figure out other ways to manage care. And so, that's how I ended up here. But Lynn and I had been friends forever, and I think that Lynn was having parallel issues, similar, not quite the same, but yeah. I'm pushing you now into this conversation.
Sort of related, kind of the same sort of, like, I think my journeys have been the journey. I don't know if I only have one journey. I don't know where I think I am.
I think we're on like 12 dimensions at one time, but on this one.
On this journey, it's been kind of an up and down thing a lot of times. Same thing with kind of like the weight kind of come up and down. Harder you seem to work, the more weight you seem to like put on. It was things that didn't make sense. Same thing about fertility issues. My husband and I did several cycles of IVF, and they were unsuccessful. So we, had to move forward with that, but never really found out beyond having endometriosis, which they cleared at the time, which I'm sure is back. That no reason that it shouldn't have worked, but here I guess that's just part of the journey of where we are. But yeah, it's been a struggle, and being able to always find answers, or even anybody in the medical field, they don't always have the answers, of course, and they don't always have the ability to really search for the answers, or sometimes I think restricted in what they can do.
I think that we're a little delusioned in the fact that they're always going to know.
Yeah, and it's honestly, like, I've kind of said for a long time, if you don't know, it's okay. Just say you don't know. Just don't say it's something that you made up, or you're thinking,
right, and then you're chasing your tail,
and make it like sound like it's your fault somehow, that
yeah, I started boycotting doctors because every time I went in, I ended up in tears walking out because I never had answers, and I just got some crazy responses, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to handle these things. So, yeah, but I think it's led us right to where we are, which is probably right where we need to be. Journey, hard times, and all that go with it, but. I remember very vividly, I was teaching, I said I was entrenched in the personal training business, and my education background led me to teaching. So I was teaching certification classes on personal training. It was a very interesting day. It was kind of like a moment in this intuition kind of glimpsing through for me that I didn't know it at the time. But I can tell you the story now. I was writing on the board. It was one of the first, it was like an 8-week class, and there was a slide or something that said that there's 3 circles of our existence, I guess, or however you want to put it. It's physical, mental, and spiritual. And the diagram that was in the lecture material, all these circles were overlapping. It was like physical, mental, spiritual, and they all kind of integrate into this diagram. It's not a Venn, but I don't know. There's circle anyway. So it's like a triad, right? So in any case, I'm teaching it, and I'm thinking as I'm teaching this out loud, and I'm saying what I'm supposed to be saying as part of the curriculum, like, all these things have to be in balance in order for our bodies to be in harmony. And I would have told you, and I 100% thought it in front of a class of 30, which I did not say out loud because it was counterintuitive to what was on the board, that I definitely felt like the physical for me at the time, and the mental, because I had worked very hard on the physical, and the mental were really balanced. And the spiritual was not at all. And I don't know what I would have probably equated at that point, like spirituality to like religion, which to me, it does not mean that at this point in my life. But as I was looking at it and drawing the circles on the board, I was like, I don't have that part. Like, I didn't really have a connection to the spiritual part. And I very much thought in my head, my own thought was like, you don't need it. You have the other 2 balanced. You're good. And I heard, one of the first times I can tell you, I definitively heard my intuition, which kind of took me by surprise. And it was like, you'll see. Yes, you do. And I was like, ooh, okay, we'll see what that means. And oh, well, here we are. And I'm like, it does matter. It did matter a whole bunch. So it definitely led me down this path of figuring out the spirituality part and trying very much to get these all in balance. And I would love to tell you that they're all in balance, but I think that none of us ever really, I mean, good for you if you have them all, but I feel like for me, it's part of my journey here to continually work on all of them at some point to keep them all, these bubbles floating.
Well, I think it's almost kind of purposeful, and that you're never done with improvements or doing better.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you're not good or doing whatever, you're not good at doing whatever you're doing now, but it just means that, while we're maybe concentrating on something physical, that the other aspects are probably just falling down a little bit. So there's always going to kind of be a give and take or whatever, but, being able to make sure that you're really focusing on all the things, it's important.
Yeah, and to the point now with like learning to not be quite so hard on myself and giving myself a little grace. Grace is a hard concept for me in particular. I don't know how other people feel about it, but it's a concept that really kind of hit me a few years ago, that I say things in my head and to myself and have these expectations that I would never impose on another person. I would totally say you were ridiculous if I said these. Like, I asked you to do these things that I demand of myself. And the concept of, give yourself a little break, give yourself some grace. It's a new concept to me, and I'm still like, man, it's a hard one. So hopefully that gives you a little bit about ourselves. We decided to, because we had no idea what to talk about, we found this fun question generator online. Mm-hmm. So we're going to play with that, and it's going to randomly generate some questions for us to answer.
Them over.
It says that we have to clickety-click. Liz literally says that, clickety-click to get a question. All right, so.
What would constitute a perfect day for you?
Oh my gosh. You want to go first?
No, I do not.
Oh boy. I don't know. A perfect day for me. I wrote a post about this last year. It's so funny because a perfect day I feel like changes for me depending on what it's to be.
I'm like, how long can this day be?
Boom. Right. So I got all of these ideas because on one hand, I want the day to be relaxing, right? Like I want to lay in a hammock. I want to take a nap. Sleep seems to be like a perfect part of any day for me. Like I love to sleep. Well, I have Epstein-Barr too, but in any case, I don't know, like, do I want to relax? That's kind of perfect in a way. But then when I'm relaxing, I'm kind of like, oh, but I could be doing something fun and adventurous too. Like I don't know, it could be out exploring something new or visiting someplace new or traveling. I would say at the basis, my perfect day involves traveling, whether I am traveling to a beach and taking a nap or I'm traveling to the mountains and taking a nap. No. I would say it would have to include traveling, but and yeah, but man, I swing back and forth. Some days I'm like, oh, I'd like to be with my family, and the others are like, I don't want to do that. I want to be alone and chilling and quiet. I don't know. What about you?
Well, I think that I'm really, really a big fan of being outdoors. And I think that part of a perfect day for me probably would constitute, it's the same word, a fairly easy hike. I like hiking a lot, but it's nothing that's too crazy strenuous in the perfect day. Not like Knife's Edge or...
Well, back in the day, I mean, we've done 120 some miles on the Appalachian Trail. It's not that.
Maybe. Yeah, I think we're in the 130s now. I mean,
it's not that. That's not my perfect day right now.
Well, no, but just being outdoors, being able to overlook a beautiful vista, or
I like vistas.
Sitting on the edge of a lake and just watching the water lap, and I think there has a lot to do with kind of a relaxation piece that I feel like I'm lacking a lot because we're always so busy and go. And even when we travel, we're still like, oh, what can we do? Can we fit in?
I gotta cram it all in. Who knows when you're getting there yet?
I know.
Gotta see it.
Right?
Gotta see it all.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna clickety-click. What's your favorite sport? Okay, Lynn. Well,
football.
Go ahead, Lynn.
I mean, to play softball, to watch football, 100%. Go Dolphins.
I would say my favorite sport is baseball. I'm not a huge football fan, at my best friend's chagrin.
I I've really tried to push it.
She really has. Like, she's made me even, like, pick teams and stuff, and it's...
She picked the Bears.
I did. I like... Well, because I like bears. And they were orange, and that's my favorite color, so there you go, a little bit more about me. But that's really the only reason I picked them. Oh, and I do like Chicago. It's a very nice city. So there were several factors, none of which involve football at all, as to why I picked that team. But, you know, my son plays ice hockey, which is so new to me. I know nothing about, I do
love
now.
ice hockey, too. I love all the sports.
Yeah, but, you know, he plays ice hockey, and that it's really unique and kind of fun, so I'm kind of learning to really get into the ice hockey thing. So I would say that's, all right, now it's your turn to clickety-click.
You can ban one question from the interview process forever. Which one do you choose? That's your question.
All right, okay. You know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with that strengths and weaknesses
Oh my
question.
gosh, I was going to say weaknesses for
Because
sure.
that's a dumb question. It's dumb, right? Because everyone knows that this is going to be a question, and everyone has pre-thought their answer to the question. I mean, and come on, we all know the ploy here. Like, you're going to stage it so
Your weakness
your
doesn't
weakness
sound
is
like
not
a weakness. My weakness is that I'm so loyal and dedicated that I don't want to take any days off. No, we don't need that either, because if you burn out on the job, we still have to replace you.
I'm
so.
such a perfectionist that I never want to
question.
make a mistake on anything.
I'm not asking anybody that.
Yeah, so that's a question I would do it out with. Yeah, okay.
Well, me too. I'm a little excited about that. So.
Am I clickety click?
You're clickety.
Okay. What's your favorite random fact?
Oh my God.
Oh, who knows?
Jeez, a random fact. I don't know if I know a random fact.
I'm sure I know lots of random things, but
sure,
that's
my
my favorite.
I don't know. I can't even think of a random fact right now. Can you think of a random fact?
The random fact is that I can't think of a fact.
Well,
all right, we got to skip this one. I can't think of
the only random fact I can think of right now, I saw it, I don't know, on some kind of thing that, you know, when you make a sound here, it's reverberated super, super, super far away, which I don't know how far that is. But that's something to do with the way sound and stuff works, which doesn't even make sense. It's not even a fact. I gave you no information. Except that the sound you make are somewhere else too. There you go.
That's funny. There is I don't even know if it's actually a random fact or if it's true, but supposedly only 1% of the population runs a marathon, and only 1% of the population has their doctorate. And I did both in the same year. So
are you like better than half?
Well, I don't know. Like I don't even know how I would do the math of that then. But anyway, I just thought it was a random.
I would be curious to know.
I don't even know if that's a random fact anymore.
Overlap of a person who has a doctorate and doing a marathon. Like, what's the percentage of that?
I think that someone with a doctorate would know, but I do not. So anyway, enough with that random fact. Okay.
Is this your question?
Oh, is it? Would you prefer to set up? Would you prefer set?
Who is the first word?
I can't even read. Random fact. Cheryl can't read. Who would you prefer? Set you up on a blind date? Friends, family members, coworkers, professional dating service, or random strangers?
Seems irrelevant.
Totally. I would have to say my friends. I mean, I would trust you.
I'm gonna go friends.
Well, first of all, if they have to pass the friend test. So definitely vetoing the family member thing. Coworkers are my friends at this point. Yeah, I would say friends.
Yeah, I would say friends too, because for fun, I mean, random strangers, but it seems a little dangerous too. So
yeah, random strangers or something. How does that work?
I don't know. Like, that's
a random fact.
Question. All right, clickety click. What makes you happiest? Ooh. Oh, geez, this is like perfect day.
You no, isn't that nice?
Probably is.
It might be coffee. Coffee might make me happiest.
Coffee with me.
I will go with the correct answer, which is honestly my kid. My kid makes me the happiest.
Her kid makes me happy too.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing.
With my little nephew. He's not little.
I mean, he drives me crazy. Don't get me wrong.
He's so smart.
Yeah, but he definitely makes me the happiest. All right. Should we clickety click again?
Yeah. If I asked you to teach a class on any subject, what topic would you choose? Oh, we teach classes all the time. In fact, we have a shadow work class going on right now.
Dude, that's a fun one. I'm really enjoying it. We started our shadow work class last night. This gives me like an opportunity to talk about shadow work. Okay, so shadow work is interesting because people are like, oh my God, it's like scary. And it's not scary. It's your own shadow. So if you're scared of your own shadow, well, then it's scary, right? But the point is that we have to look at parts of ourselves that we can't necessarily identify. as to why we make the decisions that we make. And this is self-work. This is looking deep at your own values and beliefs, because the reality is that we are a culmination of what we have been taught. We believe what we've been taught, what's been imposed on us, what our parents have taught us. These are all things that are impressed upon us from the moment probably before we have arrived here. And this is our belief system. Like, this is what makes us who we are. And as we evolve, which hopefully we are here to do, some of us are not, but we are supposed to be here to evolve. And we start to question these belief systems. You start to wonder, like, why do I believe this? Like, why do I follow this pattern of belief? And is it working for me? Is it serving me? And when you start looking at your belief system, and I like to say this in the class, is that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to change it. It might be working great for you, and that's fine. And it's fine for you to do that and believe that. But it's also the opportunity for you to decide if it's working for you. And if it's not, to be okay, now that you've shown some light on it, into your shadow, brightening your shadow, that you can make a different choice if you'd like. So anyway, we started the class yesterday. It's really fun.
Excited.
Yeah, we're picking.
Excited, and like a little bit like, ooh,
I know, because it's actually work.
Out.
Like, you gotta, it's reflective. It's meant to be reflective and introspective, and to start to see some of those things in yourself that maybe aren't as attractive, like the things that we push down or hide. But the thing with shadow work is that it's supposed to uncover some of these limiting beliefs, and these beliefs are the things that are holding you back. They might be holding you right where you are, or holding you back from where you want to be. So finding them and looking at them and staring at them and saying, oh, I see you now. I see what you are. I see that belief, and I'm not sure it's working for me. I'm going to change it so I'm not stuck here anymore. It's huge. Like, it's really big. So
I think even with sometimes it doesn't always even have to be a purposeful decision to change something. It's when it's even brought to light in some way that now that you're aware of it, it's just a little bit one of those, sometimes and it might not be a huge major thing, but just something kind of like, no, why do I do this? And why is it like this, or whatever? It's just a little bit easier to just, I don't know, to make a change if you want to, or even just the recognition that this is happening.
Yeah. And it's really cool. So we picked 2 topics last night, and one is about flexibility in your life, like where could you be more flexible, and then we picked a secondary question, which is about when was the last time you danced freely. And it's really crazy. Like, I'm
not a dancer.
I'm not a dancer at all, but it's so, after we did the class, after we did the class, and I turned off the Zoom and I went upstairs and I'm in the shower, which is a great place to think, by the way. It occurred to me in my resistance of both of these topics that they're related for me. They're so closely related, the topic of the flexibility and the dancing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that we randomly picked the questions. Not like clickety click, but we did randomly pick.
Well, what's funny to me too is that with the idea, when do you dance freely? To literally say, I am not a dancer, I'm not a good dancer, but I love music.
Love it.
Music is huge.
Love music.
I don't even dance at home by myself.
I don't dance in the car by myself. We have a best friend who she's one of our really good friends. Like, she's doing TikToks, jamming out in the car, and I'm like, oh my god.
And I'm like, oh my god, someone might see me.
I know, I can't. I'm not that. I'm not doing that, right? So, but I don't. So to answer that question, this flexibility and this dancing thing. So anyway, diving into that, because these are the topics for our week, and our shadow work group, and I'm already finding, I'm like, oh, there it is. I can already see it, the connection. So anyway, if you're interested in learning more about that, you can always check out our Facebook page. We have classes on that kind of stuff. So I do like to teach that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, well, good. That was just a long way around to get to say, I want to teach that.
There you go. I've taught a lot of things, in education, being an educator as my second or third choice of career. Anyway, but this one is actually more interesting to me than others. So, all right, anything else today? Should we?
Let's do one more click
more?
so that
all right.
we can wrap this up.
All right. Is it my clickety?
It's your click.
All right. There we go. If you could choose a new name, which one would it be? What would you pick?
Oh my goodness. It's funny because I've often asked my mom why she chose my name, because I'm always just, it seems kind of boring. It's one syllable. There's not a lot.
That's funny. I like your name.
Well, I mean, we've extended it to make it, 2 syllables, and I'm sure people have called me other names. But let's see. I think, it's funny because I have gone probably back and forth on like names I would have named my children and such, whatever. And sometimes they get a little bit extravagant, like with kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to want to say 14 syllables in a name every time. But I don't know. I kind of like, I don't know. I think that maybe I would go with the name like Emily.
Oh, that's a nice
Just
name.
soft and like, I don't know, there's like gracefulness to it or something. Emily.
It is nice.
What would you pick?
Princess Consuela Banana Hammock.
Would you go by Princess?
Consuela. I don't know.
Miss Banana Hammock?
Anyone that watches Friends knows that was Friends reference.
Oh, so was the Joey dancing.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, so I have no idea.
That should be a whole session of all the things that we can just talk in Friends.
Yes. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what I would pick. I don't particularly like my chosen name, but I don't know what I would pick in its place. I've not ever really considered it. So that's why I went with Princess Consuela. Seemed fun. Anyway, that's it.
I think you would have been like a really good like Olivia.
I think I would have been a good Lynn. No, I don't know.
I always thought your middle name would be Lynn. I have a random fact going back to that question. This is a fact that doesn't impact anybody but like 6 people. But in a very
Are they all connected
funny...
to Kevin Bacon?
They're all connected to a Kevin.
Oh! No way!
Random fact. Well, maybe.
Oh, this is a really random fact.
This is really kind of funny.
This is really weird.
Obviously, Cheryl's middle name is not Lynn because I wouldn't have said that. But my brother's name is Kevin.
My brother's name is Kevin.
My sister's name is Michelle.
My sister's name is Michelle.
It's pretty random. It's pretty funny.
It is really weird.
It is a very weird thing.
I think someone messed up when they named one of us. Probably my parents. It should have just been Lynn, and it would have made a lot more sense. So.
Well, since you liked it so much.
I did like it. I mean, I do like it. Anyway, so that's our session 2 of Booze and Brews. So next time we'll dive into some more content, some fun stories about what we do and things like that. What do you think?
I think that sounds good. If you guys want to hear about anything in particular, you comment below, and we will see about working it in.
But no more talking about us.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a little bit about us since, we're sitting here.
Well, all right. A little bit, but not like today. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.